Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And I have on the line with me my lovely co-host,
Krystal.
We have a awesome singer that's on the line with us right now. We have Mr. Waylon Reavis. He has a debut album that's getting ready to come out, and you guys may know him from his past work that he's done with other bands. Let me tell you something, folks. This album he's got out, Killer's Confession, debut album, Unbroken, current single. This is something that is very, very awesome because he has legendary guitars from Korn, Brian Head Welch. If you've not got to check this out, folks, I'm telling you, you need to check this out because it's some great music. Waylon, my man, how's it going?
How you doing? I'm good today. I'm good.
Like I said, man,
preparing for tour. I'm just preparing for tour.
It's a good deal. Like I said, man, I'm really impressed with this new single that you got out. But I want to get into the debut of this album. What's impressed you the most about making this debut album, A Killer's Confession? What's caught your eye the most about it, if anything, Waylon?
I'd have to say my band that I have. Matthew Trumpy, Paul Elliott, John Dale, and now we've just announced our bass player, J.P. Cross. Those guys have rose to the occasion. Each time I'd ask something of them, they were able to step up just a little bit more. And none of them have ever toured or been in a band that's been in the spotlight or anything like that. These guys are all, I hate to use the word, but green when it comes to the industry and being an artist, a signed artist. But they have the work ethic and the drive that, you know, I can sit back and just smile and be like, those are my boys. You know, I can't be more proud. Mm. And they did the album in 30 days. I mean, the entire album.
Jeez.
And seriously, September 19th, we announced that we had put the band together and signed with EMP label group, and we announced that, and we had one song. One. I'm not talking, we didn't have an album. We hadn't played a show. We've never even met each other. We didn't meet each other until a week before our first shows. And with what we've done, those guys are just amazing. I can't wait to see what the future holds because if I ask, they deliver. And I can't brag enough on them. I really can't. And, you know, to have Brian put his stamp of approval on it, you know, off the bat and play on A Killer's Confession, the single, it's just like, you know, there's so many good things that have happened in such a short span of time. I mean, if you really think about it, it's only October, November, December, January, 4 months old in total.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough about, and I'm not taking any of the credit. I just did vocals. Those guys did the music, and they just, you know, to be able to do that in that short of a time really impresses me.
30,
and then be able to head towards, excuse my language, damn.
No, you cuss it all out, brother.
All right, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's mind-blowing. I mean, this shit doesn't happen. I mean, this is stuff you just kind of, you know, you hear about, and it's always somebody else. Never really happened to me, and it's just like, wow. And, you know, like I said, I can't brag enough on the group itself. They're really, really good guys, and I have friends in a group now. We've bonded so fast over this. It's like we've been together for 10 years.
But like you said, 30 days to have this completed, that's unheard of. I mean, that's insane to have this album completed that quick and out. That's pretty impressive, man.
You know, I'm still in shock and awe myself, you know, because it's like a lot of people don't understand everything that goes into doing a project and doing it on a bigger level. You know, they're doing the local scene's one thing, booking and playing for your buddies in front of 10 people, but, you know, just to be thrown. And I'm really thinking this, like, we were, like, with Korn and Brian putting their stamp of approval on us, this just threw us into the ocean, you know, and it's like, swim now. And my boys just like, just grinned at everybody, just put their life jackets on, like, I'm ready to go. What about you? And it's just like, I couldn't be more happy with that, to be honest with you. I'm just sitting back like an old man just going, yeah, there you go.
You got to co-produce this album with EMP Tom Hazard. How was that experience?
Tom and I worked on A Killer's Confession, the song. Tom is also running the label, so he doesn't really have the time to like always go down when I went to the studio. Tom, it was really good working with Tom. You know, Tom's got some really good ideas. The bulk of the album was produced by Richard Easterling from Third Sky Studio and myself, and that was a fun experience because I had always been used to being pushed a certain way, with a certain formula, a certain atmosphere, and for once it was just like, well, I hear this in your voice. Let's go over here, and it was so fun because this album doesn't sound like anything I've ever done, and I'm so proud of that because it's like, Trumpy said, I'm going to take you places you've never been vocally before, and he didn't lie to me on that. I really went places I didn't even know I could do. And I was really impressed with the fact, you know, for the first time I worked with somebody else besides the people I'd been working with for the last decade. And with that, it was a tight-knit group, and you didn't step outside that group. You worked with who you worked with. Now I have all these outside influences coming in and helping me, and it was new. And for me, I loved it. I can't wait to work with other people because I just like really understand the fact, you know, that outside ear is so important. That person that has not worked with you and they may hear something you've never even thought of trying. It's just so important to music because the first thing as a musician you need to realize is like you don't know everything. And you can't think of everything. And sometimes just that little bit of nudge into a different direction can help blossom this beautiful creation. Exactly. And I really can't thank Richard and Tom enough for pushing me in that new direction.
Any songs off the Killer's Confession album that stand out more to you than any, if possible? I know these are like kind of picking your favorite songs of all time, but I mean, are there any that stand out more to you, any possibly?
Oh, yes. There's a song called Sympathy, and I did that song with Kimberly from One Eyed Doll.
Nice.
And beautiful song. Trumpy wrote it. Trumpy and his wife had lost a baby. And during that, she had a miscarriage. And during that, he wrote this song. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. And he came to me, and he asked me to write about it. And I was just like, you know, I was honored to be asked that. And it really put the pressure on. But B, you know, it's just like, I better not fuck this up. You know, it's like one of those situations.
Yeah.
And I called Kimberly because my wife, Jennifer, was like, you know, a female voice would be really good on that song. And I was like, you know something, you're right. And Jennifer brought up Kimberly, and she said, why don't you call Kimberly from One Eyed Doll and see if she'll do it. See if she'll join you. And I called Kimberly, and I can't brag enough, she knocked it out of the park. I mean, and when I say knocked it out of the park, I mean she Babe Ruthed it. She pointed at the fence and just knocked it the fuck over. I was just like so happy when I got the version back from her. She just did so excellent. She's such an excellent singer, and she really just did an amazing job with it. That one sticks out to me, and then a song called Rebirth sticks out to me, and it's a I don't know how to put it, man. It's nothing like I've ever done. And one more that sticks out to me, 1080p. And that song really sticks out to me. And everybody's like, what the hell, 1080p? You have to just listen to the song to understand what the title means.
What helps you keep your mind open when you're writing lyrics?
I'm just a space cadet, to be honest with you. I'm just a big kid I'm kind of all over the place. A lot of people think I'm scattered, and when they don't realize it's just like I'm focused on like 400 things at once.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys that I don't really plan it. I don't really sit there and write a piece of poetry or a note and be like, this is an idea. I'm sitting there, I'll listen to the music, because that's how we do it. The guys will write the music and they'll send it to me. And with whatever's going on with me at that moment is kind of what takes precedence of what I'm going to write about. I don't ever really think about, with Trumpy, with the Sympathy song, that was one of the one times I did have a focus of what I was going to write about. But 99.9% of the time, it's just like whatever pops in my brain at that moment. And usually when I do write something, it's on the fly, and it's right there. And it's what's in that moment for me.
How was working with guitarist Brian Head Welch of Korn, man, on this first single, A Killer's Confession, working with an iconic musician, plus, you know, yourself as well. You guys, let's talk about this, man. How was working with him?
Oh my God, that Brian Brian and I are really good friends, and he's such a good person. He really is. Unfortunately, I didn't get to sit with him when he did it.
Okay.
I sent him the song. Now, Trumpy sent me a Killer's Confession first, and I sent it to Brian. And Brian listened to it, and I said, "What do you think, man? I'm thinking about doing a band with these guys." And I said, "If I do, will you produce this?" I asked him to produce the album. I wanted Brian Welch to produce it. And Brian came back to me in the email, and he said, "Dude," he goes, "I hate to tell you this, but I don't have the gift of producing, but I'll play on it." And
wow,
being a big Korn fan, and I've been lucky enough to become friends with the guys, and they're just such awesome people. You see these really nice guys, and that's who they are, like Fieldy and Monkey and John and Brian and Ray. They're just, every time I come around, I get hugs. Just like, "How you doing?" I bring my kids with me. This really good family, type band. And Brian comes back and says, "I'll play on it." And, become friends with them was one thing, but, this is a fucking bucket list. I'm like, "What?" I got excited as hell. Well, we went down and did the vocals for A Killer's Confession. And Brian had hit the road doing the Serenity of Suffering tour with Breaking Benjamin, and they were on the road. Well, I sent it to Brian, and Brian ended up recording it in just the most oddball place, Columbus, Ohio.
Wow.
He was in Columbus playing that night, and he recorded it. And I was with American Overdose in Portland, Oregon, playing with them on their album release night, because I shot a video with them for Letting Go, and I got the track back that day. And he had sent it to Tom and Richard, and they put it together. And I remember the moment. We had just did an interview with American Overdose. I just did an interview with him, and I got the email. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck." And when I heard it, man, it knocked me down. It knocked me down so hard. And I just, it's like Mike Tyson knocked me out, and I put a grin on my face. It's just like, "Oh my God, this is so good." And Brian just did what Brian Welch does. He's got that iconic sound, and he put it on a song that I created. And it was just the most uplifting, feel-good moment of the year for me. Just made me smile ear to ear. And honestly, to myself, I could care less if anybody liked the song. You know what I mean? It meant that much to me. I could sit there and just have this song in my personal collection and never released it, and I've been just fine with that. Just to have him be on something that I did this well was just, words can't describe how good that felt to me as being a fan, and to have that Korn, Brian Welch iconic sound put on something I did as well, because you can't emulate Korn.
No.
You can't.
No.
You cannot do it. And to have them bring that to something I did, to have Brian, you just can't. I'm smiling right now. I can't say enough about how much that meant to me. And this is the band that put it on the map for me. The first band, the first national act I've ever watched, and the band that made me want to do what I want to do now. That's a part of what I've done, and it's just like, I can't say enough, And then a few months later, to have Korn, when we released the single, have them put it all over the web to go check it out. To have their stamp of approval, to have lines of one thing, but then to have the whole group have Korn stamped it was just like, thank you, And a lot of bands have a hard time getting noticed, but I will say that I owe a lot, most, to Korn and Brian Welch for being like, "Hey, Waylon's doing something, check it out." That was, you don't get that very often, and to have them being one of the biggest, most iconic bands of right now do that for me, I can't say thank you enough. I'll never be able to say thank you enough.
Yeah, I was at Loud on Live, and this past October, and got to see Korn and got to see him play with Corey Taylor came out and did the song that he did with them. And
oh, you lucky duck! You got to see that.
I want to tell you this right now. Korn is back. I've said that ever since their single came out for this album, and God, it's a great album. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's awesome.
Oh, I got to see them at Open Air when they debuted it.
Oh, sweet.
And oh my God, Oh my God! I was just like, I was like, we're gonna play a new song.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on the side of the stage because if I'm ever at corn, I'm always sitting on Brian Fieldy's side. I sat on Monkey's side when I was in Australia, but I'm usually on Brian's side because it seems to be more open over there because it's not with phone boards. And I'm sitting there, and they play that new song, and that first thing I thought, I was just like, holy fuck, man, they just had a time machine and just went back.
Yeah.
And just, this is the corn that I fell in love with. This is the corn. It's so brutal. It's just like, yes.
Yeah.
Where's this man? Yes. It was so good. It was so good.
I like hearing them on the album, but when you see them live, like I did that's my first time seeing them. And I'm in Kentucky. Yeah, I'm in Kentucky. And it sucks that, you got to drive 2 + 3 hours to see a band, but my God, it's worth it. But, I live in eastern part of Kentucky. It's a hellhole here. So,
Hey, Killers Confession was recorded down in Richmond.
Yeah, it was. That is right. Yeah, your album was.
Yes, it was. At Third Sky Studio, man.
That is right.
Right there in Richmond. And I got love for Kentucky. Don't call it all bad. I'm from North Carolina. I understand.
Yeah, you do.
You're just in the country. Yes.
you got support in Kentucky. You definitely got it from me, and I know my friend Amanda Reed. She absolutely loves, what you're doing right now. From what you did with your previous band till now, she is a true Waylon fan to the end. So you got tremendous support, man.
Well, that was a big scary part of coming back because, like, the way things went down, and I don't really want to go into it. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
And just to see if people could understand, because it was very unlike me, but things had to change in my life, and they did. And I took a year off, and it was, and honestly, I think that this album, maybe part of the reason it was so there for me and so easy was because I did take that year off. I did take my mind off of music. I did take my mind off of the keeping up with the fans, keeping up with the fan pages, and staying in the limelight. I mean, I did, but I didn't do it like I did. You know what I mean? Like, I really kind of came back in September doing the live videos and the updates, and, because I needed to heal, but it was a scary moment. It was like, are they going to accept me? And thankfully they did. They have. Winning Breakout Band of the Year, and there's so much good shit has happened, and it's just like, wow. It's like, maybe this is my path. Maybe this is what I was supposed to do, and I'm really thankful to the fans because I keep saying this, and I've been saying it for a long time. It's like, there is no band with no fan. It's for them, by them. They decide the path you walk. If they're not happy, you need to rethink what you're doing, because they're the reason that you have a meal ticket. They're the reason you get to do what you love and get to follow your dream. Because without them, there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no band. There's no show. If you can't accept that as an artist, if you're in this for money and fame, it ain't about being famous. It's about putting a smile on somebody's face. It's like being on that stage and having a picture on you is one thing, but you got to respect it. You can use it in many different ways. But the way I use it is I just want to see you smile. I want you to you're working at 9 to 5 or at the graveyard shift or mid shift, and you've got to work with you, get your bills, get your family taken care of. I want to be that hour where you just put all that, oh man, come meet me. Come say hey, man, and say what's up, because, it's my song you're listening to while you're going to work or while you're at work. And it's my job to lift you up out of that and lift you up out of that day-to-day grind. And to see that smile, that's what makes it worth it. That it ain't about the money, and it ain't about, how iconic you can be or anything like that. It's about just entertaining and giving people a reason to keep going through their day.
You signed to EMP and to have Tom Hazard and David Ellison behind you.
How does it feel? It feels great. I got one of the big four, and to get to talk to him, and he seems to love what I'm doing. And, never in a million years I'd ever think I'd work with him, either one of them. And it's a really good experience. It's really, they give me a lot of respect, and they give me a lot of room, because they know that I've been in this business for a long time. It's not like they're trying to break a band. They're not. They are, but they're not. They know that I know what I'm doing. But they're there for some guidance. But at the same time, they give me a lot of room to spread my arms and swing my fist. You know what I'm saying?
Waylon, what do you hope the fans take away from this new album from you, man? Once they start to hear it and digest this.
I hope they can take it and understand, this, the key word in AKC is confession. There you go. That's what I want to take away from it. Don't look at the violent killer. Look at the word that follows. Don't look for a gimmick. Don't look for a gimmick band. I wear the contacts. I wear the contacts because I think they look cool. Because I'm not putting a mask on. I'm not hiding who I am. Keyword is confession, and I want them to listen to the songs and dissect the meaning of what I'm telling you. And I'm not going to give it away because it's an interpretation. But that's the truth of it. This is not hashed out, factory work where it's just mandatory. I'm going to do this. This is listen and understand what's being said and look at your surroundings. That's what I want them to take away from this.
What can we expect at a Killer's Confession show?
First of all, me smiling to be back on stage doing what I love. That's the first thing you can expect. Second is just the first couple tours, I do have something planned. And I'm going to go ahead and give y'all exclusive. I do have a show in mind. You're not going to get it because it's going to cost me some money to do it. And I've got to go around the country a couple times to earn that. I've got to make this and reinvest back into the group. But we have a bigger show planned, but I'm not going to give it away. But trust me, it's going to be something else, and it's something not being done. Put it that way. That's all I can say. But for the first couple tours, all you're going to see is the band. Some costume look ideas. No mask or anything on that, but just we're going to prove that there were musicians first. We're going to go out there and just play. And then we're going to bring the art into it and bring the stage show.
Do you prefer the digital era that we're in right now, Waylon, of recording albums and plus getting your music out there more? I know a lot of guys would rather just do it the digital way than be in a recording studio, but what's your take on this, dude?
You just have to accept it. It is what it is. You're living in social media. You're living in a time of cell phone, ADD, it is what it is. You have to be able to adapt to it. The key to survival is adapting. And with this, you just got to move with the times. You got to move with what's going on. You got to move with the media. I'm fine with it. You can't be set in your ways of how things are done. You have to move forward. And you may not like it, but you have to accept it. And, with me, I've always worked with the digital media. It's kind of like the era I've been in. Always did stuff like this. It's changed a little bit. But it's just you just gotta see what's coming and see what's moving and see where it's moving. And just, do not get caught up in your ways because things are always going to change. That's part of life. Everything changes, always. You have to be able to move with it or you're going to become a fossil in the past. And like dead technology.
Yeah.
How would you describe your overall sound with A Killer's Confession?
I don't try to, honey. From what I've been told, from the feedback I've got, every song sounds different. You don't know what you're going to get. A Killer's Confession doesn't sound like Rainbow. Rainbow doesn't sound like Serenity. Serenity doesn't sound like 1080p. Nothing sounds the same. It is, like we said, it's the moment. We don't write to be, this is what A Killer's Confession sounds like. We don't know what A Killer's Confession sounds like. We just write songs that we think sound good. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't want to be just, I'm just this. I don't want to be that. I want to be like, he's a chameleon. It changes for his environment. I change for what is needed. If the song calls for something, that's what I'm going to do. It's like I've been lucky enough to where I've been told I can sing, but I can also get aggressive in me. And I can, I've learned to rap. I've learned to do all these styles. Hell, my name's Waylon. I know how to sing country if I really wanted to do it. I got a pretty thick Southern accent.
Yeah.
I can sing like that.
Yeah.
I just do what I think the fans would want to hear me do, and I think the fans really love the fact that I do change it up, and I do try not to do the same thing every time.
You mentioned Korn being a huge spark for you as becoming a musician, but what made you want to become a musician, though? What was that spark that said, that's it, that's what I want to do?
That had a big thing to do with it. I grew up in a split home. I had two sets of families. I had my mom and my stepfather, and my father and my stepmother and 2 different families. But the thing about it is, I went through 2 religions. My mother was Jehovah's Witness, and my father was a Southern Baptist. So it was real religious, metal and music really wasn't a part of the daily agenda.
Right. Right.
Saturday mornings I didn't get to watch cartoons. I went, knocking on people's doors, getting their door slammed in my face, asking if they wanted a Watchtower, magazine. And things happened, things changed in my life as I got older, and I went, and just like music was, my sister tells me that she played piano and she had lessons, and the boys were more pushed to sports and working. My dad was a very hard-working man. He never missed a day of work in his life until he got cancer before he passed away. I mean, this man, 30 years, had never missed a day of work, went to work with kidney stones. So that was the lifestyle we lived. And, with my mother, everything's going to hell, and we're the right ones. We got to save everyone. And metal's the devil. And I remember when I got about high school, about 14 years old, finally seeing a band, a rock band, and not understanding how music was really put together, But my sister, like I said, would play piano, and she said when I was little, I would sit there and play, and I would take out notes and pick out chords, and nobody was telling me how to do anything. She says, I knew then that you had it, that you understood music. And I did that, and finally I seen that, and I was like, you can do this? I'd heard music on the radio, but I didn't understand really how they did it, how they came together, and I thought these companies probably put these people together, school and all that stuff, and I started playing music, and I'll be honest with you, I was the worst musician you ever heard in your life. You would have never thought that I'd have got here. I have a tape, and I keep it hidden in the safe with booby traps all around it because I never want it heard. It's so fucking terrible. I mean, just terrible. I mean, the worst stuff was worse. I've heard garage bands that sound like fucking gummy bears because it is so bad. You put it up next to it, like, man, that's fucking Mozart. That's some great shit. But a lot of people laughed at me, and I remember playing my first show when I was 15 and having to sit in my car because I couldn't get into the bar, and I was allowed to come in and play the show, and I got booed. And the headliner, the local band, come up on stage and took my mic from me and told that crowd to shut the fuck up, that he would love to see them try what I was doing to be as young as I was. And that at that moment, it clicked on me, fuck you. I'll do it just to show you I can. Because that was the hardest experience to take. I had a place called Fat City. And it was a very, very, very humbling moment, but at the same time, it was that driving moment of, fuck you, I'll show you. And that's when it happened. But then a couple months later, I seen Korn, and it was really this is what I want to fucking do. And from that moment on, I've spent my entire adult life, the rest of my teenage life and my adult life chasing this. And the last year was the longest time I've ever spent away from a microphone.
Is there any moment over the course of making this album that really stands out to you?
It was all the same. It was and I hate to say that there was no moment that was greater than the next because it just happened so fast and everything just happened so quickly. It was so good. Just like that was, other than winning the Breakout Band of the Year and only playing 3 shows, nothing really stands out. It was just so fast, so quick. My head's still kind of spinning like Beetlejuice. I'm still trying to grab the hold of it and grasp what's actually happened.
I know you still get these. Waylon, what's it mean to you when you receive an email from a fan or prior to your shows or after your shows? They come up to you and they still tell you that your music has pulled them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just gave them a time to relax of all the everyday bullshit that we go through. What's that mean to you personally?
It means the world to me. It means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It means that's what we do this for, and it's humbling, to say the least, that I was able to create something that kept the gun out of somebody's mouth, or helped them survive when they're in a war zone, and I've had those stories, and I'm thankful that I was able to do that for somebody. Did I think that I was ever going to be able to do that for somebody? No, but I did, and it means the world to me. I remember the stories. I've got the letters upstairs. This stuff that was being given to me. I pretty much have a little treasure trove of medals and tokens and letters from people, and I never get rid of that stuff. I always hold on to that. I think it's in a dear place for me.
Waylon, how can folks stay in touch with you, buy some merchandise, buy this new album, keep in touch with you with tour dates? How can he do that?
You can go to killersconfession.com. You can find me on Facebook. I'm pretty active on that. Look for the blue check, Waylon Reavis. You can go to Killer's Confession on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, pretty Tumblr, which I don't really understand yet still. I understand it about as much as I do Twitter, but we're trying. Usually with merch, you can hit EMP, and you can get the album. You can pre-order the album there, empmerch.com. And if you really want to keep up to date, just go to the Waylon Reavis official on Facebook with the blue check. And I'm pretty active on there. You get I do a lot of live feeds. I'll tell you what's up to date. We do merch to us personally. I'll do live, and you just email. I'll show you what I got. Email and stuff. There it is. And that's the Killer's Confession Day 1 merch sale at Outlook. So you can find us all through that. And then if not, if you want to just come live, it's the Year of the Killer Store, which is going to be coming to the East Coast, starting on the 27th at Hooligans in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And we're doing a month with Kissing Candace, Dead by Wednesday, and Race Remember.
I just like to say, as a fan of your music from past to present to this, man, thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around, my friend, because it would be a sad place without you.
Thank you, brother, man. I'm glad. I'm finding out right now. I thought a lot of people turned their back on me when everything happened, and I'm coming to find out. A lot turned their back on me, but there was a whole lot more waiting on me to come home.
Yep.
And I'm definitely feeling that right now.
Krystal, would you like to say anything?
Just hell yeah, keep on keeping on. I want to keep hearing music from you guys.
What are we going to? I'll tell you, like I've told everybody else, 10 albums, 10 years, and then I'm calling it quits.
Before I let you go, good sir, will you care to do a promo for the show?
I do not care to do that at all. What would you like me to say? Okay, this is Waylon Reavis from A Killer's Confession, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. And it's for my co-host,
Krystal.
We appreciate everything that you guys and gals do. Thank you so much, Waylon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Waylon.
You're very welcome, very welcome.